In this episode, I want to talk about something that doesn't get enough attention. Staying. Staying when it's unclear, staying when it's boring, staying when the grind feels endless. Because if I'm being honest, when I felt this feeling before, I quit. I started something new, something more exciting to me, something that gave me a fresh spark. But this time, I'm trying something different. This time, I'm staying. Welcome to the Scarred Sons podcast, where we dive into scars of life and the outcomes they shape. This podcast is a space for honest conversations about my journey, the lessons learned, the struggles endured, and the growth that followed, geared towards helping other sons with scars. We'll explore topics like personal development, mental and spiritual health, and the path to becoming the best version of yourself. Let's navigate these challenges together, one story at a time. Let's dive in. The views expressed on this podcast are based on my personal experiences and insights. I am not a licensed therapist, counselor, or medical professional, and the content shared is not intended as a substitute for professional advice or guidance. Please consult a qualified professional for advice tailored to your specific needs. I am not responsible for any decisions or outcomes resulting from the use of this content. What's up to all my scarred sons out there? I'm your host, Ty. Before we dive in, I want you to know this is a safe space. I'm not here as someone who has it all figured out, just a man willing to speak his truth. And if you carry scars, welcome home. You get excited about a new goal. You work hard. You stay consistent for a while. You don't see quick results. You start feeling like you're running in place. You look up and it feels like everyone else is lapping you. You start questioning the plan. You start questioning yourself. And you want to pivot. Let's just say it plainly. Consistency is boring. The grind feels endless when you don't see movement. But maybe the real question isn't, is it working? Maybe the question is, have I worked it long enough? Scarred sons, we don't like feeling behind. We don't like feeling uncertain. We don't like feeling exposed. We want progress fast. We want proof fast. We want to know it's worth it. So when results don't show, we pivot. Because quitting feels like control. Starting over feels like momentum. But starting over resets the clock. And again, if I'm being honest, in my past, I didn't quit because the plan wasn't working. I quit because I got tired of feeling uncertain and exposed. Staying means people see you in the middle, not winning, not finished yet, still grinding. And that's vulnerable. Sometimes quitting isn't wisdom. It's discomfort avoidance. I've started quite a few things in my journey of life. I've started clothing lines. I started other podcasts, other businesses. And just as I stated before, when they got boring, or to me, it's like I'm not making the impact I thought I was going to make, I quickly, to release myself of that, sometimes what felt to me like a shame, sometimes what felt like, man, why'd you waste your time? Why'd you waste your money? Why'd you waste your effort? You should have studied more. You should have made sure this was something you were supposed to do. But on the flip side of that, isn't that how we learn who we are? Trying, figuring it out if something lands with us or not, actually taking the motions through something. The more experience I gain while being on this earth, the people that we're trying to not feel like we're looking like we failed in front of, definitely have failed before. Why am I so self-conscious of my result not being my result? My actions not paying off for me as quickly as I thought they should. Because guess what? You judging yourself in front of other people who have made the same mistake, or who they're not even trying, and you're out here busting your butt, but you're not seeing that result. Sometimes we can't give up too soon. So before we move forward, I think this is the perfect place to jump into our mirror moment. So let's stop here and pause for the mirror moment for this week. The mirror moment is the part of the podcast where we look at the man in the mirror and reflect inwardly. No distractions, no blame, just honesty. Today's mirror moment is, have you truly done the work long enough to expect the results? Or are you uncomfortable and calling it misalignment? Now be honest, are you refining the plan or are you restarting because staying feels exposing? Are you tired or are you afraid of being seen in the middle? What if nothing is wrong with the plan? What if the only thing being tested is your endurance? And what if God isn't delaying you and instead he's developing you? What if the season feels quiet because you're being built in private? Consistency doesn't feel exciting. It is boring. It feels repetitive. It feels quiet. It feels unseen. But that's where identity is built. And sometimes faith isn't about knowing the outcome. It's about trusting that obedience over time produces fruit. If you walk away too early, you may never see what God was forming in you. Thank you for listening to this week's Mirror Moment. Let's get back to the episode. Now let's talk growth. Sticking with the sales grind that I had over the years, sticking with this podcast that I started the last quarter of last year, sticking with my debt payoff plan and not getting overwhelmed when I don't see the balance going down as quickly as I think, and sticking with the marital growth by having some conversations and staying engaged and not throwing my hands up in the air when I get confused. Sticking with healing. Man, that's a big one. Growth doesn't look loud. Progress doesn't always look fast. Most breakthroughs happen quietly. You can't expect harvest from seeds you keep digging up. The fight isn't against the world. It's against your impulse to quit. And maybe this isn't about business at all. Maybe it's about not abandoning yourself. Maybe it's about becoming a man who doesn't run when it gets boring. As I said before, in a lot of these things I tried, I'm just finally at the point where I don't want to change. I don't want to go do something new. I don't want to go try to figure something else out. I'm at a point and place in my life where I understand all wheels can't be reinvented. Mostly none of them can. And so my journey will never look like someone else's. So why are we comparing? Why are we scrolling on Instagram looking at another brother in his life and what he has and what we don't have? Why are we looking at our counterparts that don't look like us, expecting to be in the same place because our age matches? Why? Now that I got that out the way, some of it, I might have some more for you. I apologize. But do understand that my true audience is myself. So not geared directly towards you, but if you can relate, they just say if the shoe fits, just put it on. So that's probably not what they say. But anyways, let's go ahead and talk about how to actually stay and some things I'm challenging myself with while I'm in this fight with you. So because it sounds good to say, I'm staying. But how do you stay when the scoreboard doesn't reflect your effort? When you're in the gym, you putting up free throw after free throw after free throw after free throw, and you get on the court and you can't make one. When you putting in those extra hours on the job and your paycheck doesn't reflect your output. When you start a podcast or when you start your business or when you do a hobby or something you want to turn into a business, you don't get the customers as quickly as you think, but you feel like you putting in a lot of work. You're like, yo, where is everybody at? Like, why don't they see me? Why aren't they supporting me? Why isn't this thing kicking off? When you're working and nothing looks different, here's what I learned. First, stop measuring daily. You can't plant a seed Monday and dig it up Wednesday to check the growth. If you keep checking the scoreboard every day, you'll quit before the momentum compounds. Just like investing. If I put $500 in, tomorrow I lose 10. This is scary. I want my money back. This was a scam. I don't understand what you guys are talking about. Did we give it enough time to compound, or were we so anxious that we didn't allow our money to grow over time? Pretty much the same concept. So sometimes staying looks like not looking. Second, reduce the goal. Keep the habit. When the big vision feels heavy, just shrink your focus a little bit. Not blow up the podcast, just record an episode. Not like I need 10,000 downloads and I need 1,000 subscribers tomorrow. I just simply focus on one episode at a time. Not that, I would love to have those stats. When you start looking at that, you kind of skip over the work and then you're expecting something that you might not haven't quite worked for, or might haven't been in the game consistency long enough to see that organic growth that you need, or that you yearn for, or that you would just love to have for engagement purposes and to build a community. Not paying off all the debt. Just make this month's payment. Another example of me in my stage of, becoming debt free. I can't focus on those large balances, though they are important to know, though they are important to also stay in alignment with. But I don't need to check and make sure it's going down every day. Because when you look at it, like, dang, I thought I doubled up this one. I thought I doubled up that one. Why is it still this? Just focus on making the payment each month. Maybe not look at it every month. Maybe skip a month. Make your payment. Maybe look at the month after the next one. Or maybe look at it 6 months from now so you have a view from where you started to give yourself a little more momentum to stay in the fight, to stay on goal, stay on the task, not become the perfect husband. I can't do that overnight, but I do have to give myself grace while I'm trying to figure it out. Maybe I just have one hard conversation. Maybe we figure out where we go from there and we build upon that later. But expecting to be something overnight just isn't sustainable. Staying isn't about intensity. It's about repetition. Third, separate feelings from fact. You may feel behind, you may feel stuck, but feelings are not data. Ask yourself, have I actually been consistent? Have I actually given this enough time? Or am I reacting to emotion? Now, I'll say that second one, have I actually given this enough time, has saved me more than the three, especially recently. I'm a husband. I have my 9 to 5. I have my 5 to 9. I have the podcast. With my output, I start to look at things like, man, I'm doing all these things and I don't feel like I've gotten nowhere. I'm still this. I'm still that. I'm at this level. Haven't graduated from this to that yet. And it's just too much for us to consume. We get overwhelmed. Me personally, I get overwhelmed. I shut down and then I'm like, I don't want to do nothing. It's like I just tell myself, if I'm not good at all of these things at one time, I'm a bum. I'm not good at anything. Like, this is all too much for me. And I start to separate, which in the past was the very moment that I quit. I walked away. And I could have walked away a day soon, a second soon, 5 minutes before. If I would have stayed engaged, you never would have known. I never would have known where I would be today. But hey, we're not there. No need to cry over spilled milk. But just something to think about to help keep you engaged on your journey if you're thinking about chucking the deuces. Sometimes the plan is working. It's just working slowly. Fourth, remember why you started. Not the hype version, the real reason. Because if the reason is still valid, the discomfort doesn't get to vote. And finally, decide who you're becoming. Staying isn't about results. It's about identity. Are you becoming the man who quits when it's unclear, or the man who can endure the middle? Because the scoreboard might not change today, but you are. And that's the part nobody sees. And we got to be comfortable with that. We got to protect those moments, because those are the moments that are going to be important to us. When we look back, we reach these goals. You're going to look back to those low lights when it was just you, and you're going to feel so appreciative of staying consistent and staying engaged on your journey. I don't know how long this road is. I don't know when the breakthrough comes, but I do know this time I'm staying. And if you're in a season where it feels like you're running in place, maybe you're not stuck. Maybe you're strengthening. So stay engaged, stay encouraged. One day at a time, one task at a time. give yourself some grace, man. This is a journey. I know I've heard it over and over again. It may sound cliche that I'm about to say this, but it really is a marathon, not a sprint. And the more I live, the more life God has blessed me with, I'm starting to realize more and more. Yes, life comes to an end. Yes, our time here is short. But if we don't ever take the time to embrace each challenge, man, everything has a lesson. And so if we're not embracing it, if we're just saying, hey, this is too tough, I'm out of here, that could be a missed lesson that could help you. It could be a key that you need to unlock a door later down in life. So before you think about chucking the deuces on whatever you have going on, maybe it's that podcast, maybe it's that new job, maybe it's a part-time job, maybe it's a small business you want to start, maybe it's counseling, or maybe it's therapist, maybe it's, a mentor, helping the youth, helping the elderly, whatever your idea, whatever your goal may be. Before you think you're not making an impact because you can't see the results, ask yourself what I ask myself now. Have I given it enough time? Have I really given it enough time? Have I been at it long enough before I turn my back? Because guess what? When you hit the reset button, like the old games, I don't play consoles no more, but like the old games, you lose your progress. It's gone. It's good night. When that reset button hits, it's not a good thing. Realize that. Realize when you hit reset, you really starting over. And yes, you may be able to take some wisdom with you, but why not just build upon it instead of keep restarting? We'll talk more on the next episode. I'm about to get up out of here, man. Thank you for coming back and listening to the podcast. I appreciate you. Thank you for engaging with me on Instagram and Threads. Thank you for leaving comments and likes and sharing the pod, man. It's a beautiful thing to see something that you're growing to be discovered. Thank you for that. We'll talk soon in the next episode, next Sunday at 8 a.m. Peace and love. Thank you for joining me on the Scarred Sons podcast. Remember, every scar tells a story, and every story has the power to inspire growth. If today's episode resonated with you, I'd love to hear your thoughts. Feel free to reach out and share your journey. Don't forget to stay up to date with the podcast by liking, commenting, and subscribing wherever you listen to podcasts. You can also follow us on Instagram at scarred.sons for more content and updates. Until next time, keep moving forward, keep healing, and remember, scars don't define you, they shape you. Stay strong, and I'll see you in the next episode. Peace.